Chapter 2. Your feelings don't get a vote. Your life begins to change the moment you accept one truth. Your feelings don't get a vote. Not in your choices, not in your discipline, not in your future. Because feelings are impulses, not instructions. Feelings are loud, but they're not leaders. They speak with volume, not wisdom. They shout, they push, they demand, they distract. But they do not determine your destiny unless you allow them to. You have a choice. That's the key. Every day, every hour, every moment, you have a choice between emotion and commitment, between what you feel and what you promised yourself, between comfort and character. And if you let your feelings vote, they will vote against your growth every single time. Look at your life honestly. Look at the broken routines. Look at the workouts you skipped. Look at the promises you made and abandoned. Look at the days you said, "I'll start tomorrow," and tomorrow never came. Every one of those collapses started with a feeling that got a vote, a feeling you treated like a command. You felt tired, so you quit early. You felt stressed, so you skipped the routine. You felt insecure, so you backed out. You felt overwhelmed, so you ran. And here's the truth you've been avoiding. It wasn't inability. It was obedience to your emotions. Your feelings are not the problem. The problem is that you think they're authority. You think they're instructions. You think they matter more than your commitments. They don't. Your feelings don't get a vote. Your commitments do. Disciplined people understand this. That's why they win. Not because they feel strong, not because they feel motivated, not because they feel confident. They win because they act independently of their emotions. They understand the difference between internal noise and internal leadership. Feelings are noise. Commitment is leadership. Listen carefully. Emotional decision-making destroys progress. It kills momentum. It sabotages everything you're building. And you've seen it. You've lived it. You've felt the sting of starting strong and quitting the moment emotions shift. That's the cycle you're breaking now. Let's make this simple. 1. Feelings are temporary. Commitments are permanent. Your emotions change every hour. Your commitments are supposed to last for years. Don't make permanent decisions based on temporary impulses. That's the key. Don't rewrite your goals because you had a bad morning. Don't cancel a routine because you had a long day. Don't betray your future because your present is uncomfortable. When you feel tired, remember, your feelings don't get a vote. When you feel lazy, remember, your feelings don't get a vote. When you feel discouraged, remember, your feelings don't get a vote. You're not a prisoner of your emotions unless you choose to be. 2. Emotional reactions destroy results. Look at every failed New Year's goal. It wasn't a lack of ability. It wasn't a lack of opportunity. It was emotional decision-making. One bad day. One dip in motivation. One emotional impulse. That's all it takes for an undisciplined mind to break a commitment. You quit the workout because you didn't feel strong. You skipped the routine because you didn't feel ready. You stopped the project because you didn't feel inspired. Here's the truth. Your feelings don't care about your goals. They care about comfort. They care about ease. They care about relief. But discipline cares about your future. That's why you must choose discipline every time. 3. You override feelings with micro-decisions. This is where transformation happens. Not in dramatic moments, not in motivational highs, not in big declarations, but in small decisions, micro-decisions. You make every time emotion tries to steer the wheel. When the alarm rings and your feelings vote for sleep, you make one micro-decision. Stand up. When you feel resistance before a workout, you make one micro-decision. Start the first rep. When your mind says, "Not today," you make one micro-decision. Begin for 2 minutes. Micro-decisions build momentum. Micro-decisions build discipline. Micro-decisions silence emotion. You don't need motivation. You need movement. One small movement at a time. That's the key. 4. You train your mind to follow actions, not emotions. This is where emotional maturity is built. You teach yourself that emotions are not directors. They're background noise, sometimes loud, sometimes annoying, but never authoritative. The mind obeys what you repeat, so repeat the right thing. Action over emotion, commitment over comfort, standards over feelings. You train it with controlled actions. Do the hard task when you feel weak. Act calmly when you feel angry. Move forward when you feel afraid. Stick to the plan when you feel overwhelmed. Controlled actions rewire the brain. Controlled actions build identity. Controlled actions teach your mind who is in charge. Not your feelings, you. 5. You don't need permission to ignore your emotions. This is where most people get stuck. They think they need to feel ready. They think they need to feel motivated. They think they need emotional agreement before taking action. You don't. You don't need your feelings to agree. You don't need permission. You don't need emotional support. You just need discipline. And discipline is a decision, a choice, a standard, not a feeling. You have a choice, and every choice reinforces who you are becoming. Every ignored feeling builds strength. Every honored commitment builds identity. Every completed action builds confidence. That's how disciplined people operate. They don't wait for emotional consistency. They create behavioral consistency. That's the key. 7. Build the habit of emotional resistance. You resist impulses. You resist urges. You resist emotional sabotage. And every act of resistance makes you stronger. Every time you override a feeling, you teach yourself something powerful. I'm in control. I decide what happens next. I lead myself. That's strength. Not the absence of emotion, but the refusal to be ruled by it. Emotions are passengers. You are the driver. 8. You become unstoppable when feelings can't control you. Because what can stop you? Not stress, not fear, not insecurity, not laziness, not overwhelm, not discomfort. When feelings lose their voting power, your excuses lose their oxygen. Your hesitations lose their strength. Your resistance loses its grip. You become consistent. You become reliable. You become disciplined. And disciplined people win long term because they do the work even when they don't feel like it. That's the life you're building now. You understand now. Feelings are loud, but they're not leaders. Feelings are temporary, but your goals are permanent. Feelings try to vote, but you don't have to listen. You have a choice. Choose discipline. Choose action. Choose commitment. Choose your future. And now that you've taken the feelings out of the driver's seat, it's time to strengthen the part of you that must take control.